Hey, hey, hey! Relax your fine buddies! So there's a boatload of new items. Let's go over each and talk about who might get it and why. Lotus Orb is probably the most interesting of all the new items. We already did a video that went in depth on it, but the biggest takeaway is the Echo Shell, which reflects spells, and debuffing yourself and your allies with it. You're generally not getting this item to protect yourself, since things like Yule's, BKB, or Lincoln's protects yourself much better. This is more of an item to help your carries when they're hexed or silenced. The Echo Shield itself acts as a deterrent, preventing further single target spells from being cast on your carry. Most support heroes might want to aim for this in the mid to late game against Scythe of Ice or annoying slow and silences that often occur. The Guardian Greaves is also a new interesting item. It removes debuffs on the beholder when you cast it, so it's handy for getting rid of silences or slows on certain heroes. When your allies have less than 20% HP, your item gives off an aura that gives them 15 armor and 15 health regen, so it's really good for long-winded fights. At the very least, you can say that it will free up a spot for a lot of utility heroes which get Mechanism and Arcane Boots already. Off the top of my head, heroes like Dazzle, it'll work extremely well with his Grave, and Huskar might want an ally that has this, as he benefits from being at low health. Another hero that comes immediately to my mind is Earth Spirit. Mechanism is a great mid-game item on him, he needs mana, so often Arcane Boots is warranted, and finally, if you can debuff silences, that's what kills the hero. It's sort of a trifecta for him. The new item Moonshard gives a raw 120 attack speed, and grants 250 night vision. But you can decide to consume the item, which gives a permanent 60 attack speed, and frees up a slot. This is actually a great alternative to things like Mjolnir or AC if you're only looking to get sick attack speed. The night vision is huge for smoke ganking at night, since you can actually see enemies before the smoke breaks now. Finally, the fact that it can be consumed makes it the ultimate 7th slot item for carries that are completely maxed out in the late game. The new item Silver Edge is a progression of Shadow Blade. It lets you turn invisible and gives you a backstab, which actually does more damage than the Shadow Blade, gives you a maim, and debuffs the backstabbed hero by reducing their damage, physical or magical, by 40%. And it is the only item that applies Break, which disables passives like Bristleback's Bristleback. This is really good against heroes with strong defensive passives, like Enchantress's Untouchable, Visage's Gravekeeper Cloak, and many more. Notice that the first hit out of the invisibility cannot miss, so this is especially good against heroes that rely on their evasion, like PA's Blur, which will then be disabled by the break. Silver Edge is also a very strong anti-carry item. Using this on an enemy carry is essentially robbing one of their damage items for the next 5 seconds. Who is this going to go on? I'd say most melee agility or strength heroes. Slark and Silver Edge seem to be the new Pup Stomper, but heroes like Lifestealer, Sven, Nightstalker, and Dragonite seem like they can own with this. Anybody that can go with the Shadow Blade can own with this. Solar Crest is an upgrade to the Medallion, which gives your ally armor and evasion. Or you can take away armor and give an enemy a mischance. It gives you plus 10 armor and 30% evasion for a single ally, and is one of the strongest buffs your carry can receive. The best part of the item is being able to have your carry to have evasion without him buying an evasion item. Essentially, you're pooling your carry. So who's going to get this item? I'd say most supports that can find the gold usually to get this item. It's pretty situational. 3,000 gold means you're not getting things like 4-staff or Yules for your team. The item Octarine Core gives you a lifesteal off your spells, and it also reduces the cooldown of each spell by 25%. Most AoE spellcasters want this item. The lifesteal will make them much tankier in battle, and the cooldown reduction will let them spam their spells for heals more often. So who's going to get this? Really anyone that can dish out massive amounts of big AoE magic damage. So just rifling off some names. Leshrac, Necrolite, Bristleback with a lot of quill stacks, Timbersaw, and Invoker. Glimmer Cape turns yourself or an ally invisible for 5 seconds, lets them move around or initiate. You return to invisibility in those 5 seconds if you break out with an attack or a spell. It's definitely good for AoE initiators so they can walk in without a dagger. I wouldn't replace dagger with Glimmer Cape, it's more if your teammate has this item you can benefit from it with an alternative way of initiation. It's also good for gankers that want to move across the river without being spotted by wards. Finally, Glimmer Cape can also act as a way to reposition or run during fights. Since it's so cheap, normally spell-independent gankers can get this for themselves or for their teammate. Pudge comes to mind since he will appreciate the short invisibility and the extra magic resistance. Finally, the Enchanted Mango. The Enchanted Mango is a beginning game consumable that gives you an immediate 150 mana. Before you use it and you're just holding onto it, it'll grant you +1 regen per second. You would only really get this if you needed the burst mana in a situation that clarity won't cut it. Because of its high cost in the early game, few heroes can use this without delaying their items. When do you want to get this? Well, it's really situational, so here are 3 example situations where it could make sense. First, you can use it to feed it to a carry mid-fight, like Sven, to get a stun off in the early game. 2, you can arrange for better jungle efficiency with a hero like Doom, who runs out of mana at around 3 or 4 minutes. And 3, you can chain a nuke like Shadow Shaman. You can Ether Shock, then Shackle someone, and then at the end of the Shackle, pop the Mango and Ether Shock once more. And that's it for the new items. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and 6.84. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff on it, so stay tuned, and see you soon.